on this model, okay, blood model. All right, so just take your best guess. I'm not looking for perfection. I know you probably, none of you have seen, or maybe you've seen a little bit of it, but okay, so all this excess, all the yellow, all the extracellular fluid, what do you think this would be? Plasma, yeah. So the plasma, what does plasma do for us, do for the blood?
We transport nutrients.
What's that?
Transport nutrients,
Okay.
water, and oxygen.
Gets rid of the waste.
And carries away waste.
Yeah. Where did you get the function? Okay. That's the only. It's a little big. That's what it is basically doing. Say yours one more time, please.
Transport nutrients, water, oxygen, carries away waste.
Okay. So you might want to ask about that, but what we had regulates blood volume and maintains water balance between the tissues and blood. Okay, so again, regulates blood volume, maintains water balance between tissues and blood. Water balance between tissues and blood. Does that make sense? Why that does that? Like when you think of plasma, when you think of what it would do, or when you're looking at it in a microscope, does that make sense? The function of why that's doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you have all this blood in here, the plasma essentially is, you can think of it as the one that's regulating everything. If there's too much blood, it can come in and dilute it. If there's too less, it can back up. Okay. So good. The next one, what are red blood cells called? These ones, erythrocytes, right? Your erythrocytes are all these red circles. What do they do for you?
Carry oxygen.
Yeah, carries oxygen and CO2 hemoglobin. CO2 hemoglobin. So again, it carries O2 or oxygen and CO2 hemoglobin. Have you guys ever heard of hemoglobin? What it is, what it does? If that was on a test, what would you say? What would be your answer for what hemoglobin does for us? What do you guys think?
Does it have to do with oxygen?
Yeah. So hemoglobin, you're going to learn a lot more in detail in physiology. You'll need to know just the basic of what hemoglobin is doing for the body. Exactly, it carries oxygen, helps with oxygen. If it's too high, too low, I won't get into all the details of it. Okay, so now, when the red blood cells, when your erythrocytes get old, and they start to decay, start to die, they'll break off. So fragments of your erythrocytes are all these little blue fragments. You see these little blue things? What are these called? Platelets. And so platelets are essentially they're broken up red blood cells. But what do they do for the body? Why do you need platelets? Why can't the red blood cells just die, dissipate, or disintegrate and leave?
Don't they kind of not heal, but kind of broken?
Quite, yeah. So what you're saying, what platelets are doing is it's called coagulation. So what it does essentially is it's helping to clot the blood. Okay, so helps blood to coagulate, or you can say help blood to stop bleeding. But the first one I would say, what I had was helps blood to coagulate. Okay, does everyone know what coagulate means? Coagulation is blood clotting. Okay, it clots the blood to protect it from leaking out. Okay.
Is it good for AIDS in blood?
Oh, sorry, one second. What?
Could you say just clotting the blood or would coagulation just be
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what coagulation is. Double check, but I honestly, as long as you had that, helping to clot the blood, I'd be okay with it. Okay. What was your question?
Is it okay to put AIDS in blood?
Yeah. So again, check with your teacher to ask if you can just say, AIDS or helps in blood clotting. But if you can remember just coagulation, that's exactly what it does. Okay. All right. Good. Now, your white blood cells. What do you call your white blood cells? Leukocytes. So all of these huge ones are all white blood cells. They help your immune system. They help fight against invaders. Okay. So what's that? All of these big guys. So what the white blood cells or what your leukocytes do essentially is to help the immune system. Okay. On the exam, I highly doubt you'll see white blood cell. Okay, you'll see what the white blood cell is. You'll have to know one of them, right? Because it'd be too vague to say what are all of these here. We'd have to sticker every single one. Okay, so again, know what it is, just be familiar with it, but more in detail know what each one does. Okay?
Oh, did you say there's different kind of white blood cell?
Mhm. Yeah, all of these big ones right there are all white blood cells that help the immune system. Okay? Yeah. If that was a question, just helps the immune system, assists the immune system, that's perfect. Okay, what's the next one? Okay, so your lymphocytes. What do you guys think would be your lymphocytes? If you can choose one of them. This one? What do you think? Does everyone agree with this one? Or what if I threw that one in there? Or this one? Or this and this. Okay, so okay. Is it this thing or this? Okay, so who agrees with this one? No one? Who agrees with this one? Not sure yet? Okay, alright, so these right here, these are your lymphocytes. Your lymphocytes has a huge nuclei in it. Okay, very big. Alright, so you see this one right here? This is also a lymphocyte. They just jacked it up. Okay? It should look like this. Okay? But they stained it way too much. They got a little out of control. Okay? So this could be, if they use this, that'd be unfair. Okay, you can say, are you talking, could it be that one, could it be that one? And they should be able to say yes. Okay, for me, I will not use that unless it's like an extra credit. Which that's kind of a, not really an extra credit. Alright, so your lymphocytes. What do your lymphocytes do? Does anyone have a function?
Fight against infection.
Okay, so you have fight against infection, make antibodies. Anyone else have anything? It's okay. So this one, Dr. Spear, she had why can I say that? Specific. There we go. I got it. Okay. She had answers that she needed to have. Okay. So each one of these, you can usually use the same sentence until you get to eosinophils. Oh, she didn't do these. Okay. Okay. So what these do, you can say destroy specific viral foreign invaders. Okay, again, destroy specific viral foreign invaders. And in parentheses, she's going to want you to know which one. In parentheses, you have leukemia. Okay, lymphocytes is for leukemia. Okay, so pretty much from lymphocytes, monocytes, neutrophils, it's going to have that same sentence, and then you just put in parentheses what it's going to actually do. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? Destroy specific viral foreign invaders, example, leukemia. Okay, in case they want other answers, or if they get a little more detail, let's say for lecture, you might want to write these down as well, just for lecture. It helps with antigen antibody, okay, antigen-antibodies for B cells and T cells. Okay, you can do that one. That's a perfectly fine answer. You can do that one, but I found it's easier if you just remember that sentence for all of them, because it's going to have the same sentence. It's just going to have a different parentheses. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so monocytes. Okay, you see these big ones, this bean-looking thing, a kidney-looking shape? That's your monocyte. Okay. Does anyone know what monocytes, what they turn into, or what they differentiate? What's that? Macrophage. Yeah. So macrophage, what does phage mean? What does phage mean?
Doesn't it eat?
Eater. Yeah, exactly. So your monocytes that has that kidney-shaped nuclei, that's your telltale sign. You find the kidney shape, you know it's a monocyte. Okay, your monocyte has that same sentence, destroy specific viral foreign invaders, and in parentheses, fungi. Okay. Now, this could be a good extra credit we can say, what do they differentiate or divide into, or what do they replenish? Then that would be macrophage. Okay? For your actual test, you don't need to worry about it except for lecture. So for the lab exam, it could be an extra credit, but for lecture, you want to be familiar with that. Okay? That might be easier. Okay. Everyone ready to move on? Okay, good. All right. So you see these ones right? These right here. Okay. This one right here and this one. You see how they're very bland? They don't have color. Like if you look at this, it has these granules that have color, or this has granules that have color. When you look at this one, it's very neutral. It has a neutral color, so it's a neutrophil. Does that make sense? Neutral color, neutrophil. Alright, so what your neutrophils do, same sentence, destroy specific foreign invaders. And this example is bacteria, burn, stress. Okay, so to kind of explain why it's doing bacteria, burn, and stress. Yeah, bacteria, burn, and stress. So what neutrophils are, they're your first responders. Okay, so whenever you get a cut, a burn, a scrape, whatever, they're the first to see. So your neutrophils have to help with bacteria, burn, stress, anything that happens firsthand. Now, neutrophils are the first ones to attack. They're the Marines, or they're the first responders. Okay? Yeah, one of the first responders. So for a lecture, she can have like one of the first responders to the site of infection, inflammation. I've seen that on multiple choice constantly, where she goes, which one is the first responder to the scene of infection or inflammation? That's the neutrophil. They're the first ones. You might also see it destroys bacteria with their lysosomes. So all of these dots in there, those are lysosomes. But again, all of this stuff is kind of way into detail. That's lecture. For lab, just destroy specific ground invader, in parentheses, bacteria, burn, stress. That's it. Okay? Any questions so far? Or did you have any other answers you want to check? No? You're good? Okay. So what I could do, since this is all your first time seeing all this stuff, let's just get what they look like, and I'll give you the function, all that detail we'll be doing now. Okay, does that sound a little fair? Are you guys kind of like, when I'm saying more and more, like the lecture is too much? Would you want me to back up a little bit, like tone it down? Yeah. Okay. So do you want to continue like I'm doing, or do you want to back up a bit? Okay. Let's see, what's the next one? Eosinophil. Okay, so your eosinophils, right here. Eosinophils. What's that? Yeah, the ones that purple, orange, red, like purple nuclei with the orange, reddish dots. Those are your eosinophils. Neutral color. Okay, so again, neutrophils have no color. They're neutral. They don't agree with any bright or dark color. Like bright, like this one, dark, like this one. Okay? So now your eosinophils, okay, your eosinophils have those orange granules. So does anyone have a function for your eosinophils? No, it's okay. So now, once you get to the eosinophil and basophils, you have to do a different sentence. Okay? This sentence helps allergic reactions, and then destroy parasitic worms. Okay? That could be one function. You can also say helps allergic responses and asthma. Okay? Also can be combats effects of histamine. Okay, so again, helps allergic reactions. In parentheses, you could have destroy parasitic worm, or you can have helps allergic reactions, combat effects of histamine, or help allergic responses and asthma. Those three, any one of those are fine. Okay? Did you all get that, or do you want me to repeat any of them? Yeah. So, what the eosinophils do, you can first have helps allergic reactions. In parentheses, destroy parasitic worms. That's one. Second one, you can have help allergic reactions. Parentheses, combat effects of histamine, or just combat histamine, even shorten it. Or help allergic responses and asthma. Those three, any one of those are fine. All right. Now, the basophil. You see how there's only one? They are very rare. We have no slide of the basophil. None. This is the only model we can use if we do a basophil. Okay? Basophils, again, are very rare. Now, what the basophils do is help with allergic reactions. Okay? In parentheses, leukemia. I don't know if you really need to do hypothyroidism, so I would just have help allergic reactions, parentheses, leukemia. Also, what's that? Yeah. So they had those I don't know if those are things wait, no,
One of those.
yeah. Yeah. Look, wait. What's your question? That's what I thought.
You said there's no slide.
No, on this one, there's no slide in the blood. We don't have any. We've never because that'd be way unfair. That's a different function. It has a different purpose. In the blood, we don't have any slide of the basophil. We will not use a cat pituitary for the basophil. That's way unfair.
So the one in pituitary, the basophil for that is a different one.
Yeah,
It's not
this
the same
one-
thing.
This one will be kind of in the what it would be helping in the blood. Okay, so what you remembered in the mutant or in the cat pituitary nervous, don't worry about it. Don't worry about any of that. Okay, you can either have help allergic reactions like leukemia, or you can always do release histamine, serotonin. Okay, release histamine, serotonin. That's helping your inflammatory response, but you don't have to say anything. Okay. Serotonin. Okay, so what are your first responders? Which ones are those? Neutrophils, good. Where are they? Is it this one or this one? This one or this one? Bottom?
The bottom one.
Good, the neutral color. Good. What differentiates into macrophages? Monocytes. Good. Monocytes, what is the shape of their nuclei? Kidney bean. Okay. What do your monocytes do for you? I'll start you off. Helps against foreign viral invaders, parentheses, just the F.
Fungi.
Okay,
Fungi.
Good. Awesome. Okay, what other ones? What do the erythrocytes do? Oxygen and CO2. Hemoglobin? Good. What do the
Basophil
eosinophils? What do the eosinophils do?
destroys specific.
What's that?
Destroys specific.
No, this
No.
one has different sentence, helps allergic responses. That's the first time they changed the sentence. Okay? Alright, good. So any questions with the blood? No? Okay, and again, don't worry, this is, you haven't even seen this in lab. I just don't want to take too much time. I want to try to get everything done. So I just don't want to skip it if you have any questions. What's that? Yeah.
So the eosinophils are the orange barriers.
Uh-huh.
Are the basophils
The blue. Yep. Be blue. Yep. Basophils is blue. Okay. What helps coagulation? What helps blood clotting? Platelets. Good. What are platelets?